Om Shri Sai Ram, Upanishad Vahini by Bhagwan Shri Satya Sai Baba, Chapter 1, Upanishad Vahini. Man is of the same essence as Parabrahman or the Supreme Self, pure consciousness. In fact, basically the same still, since he is entangled with Pancha Mahabhutas or the five great elements, earth, water, fire, air, and space. He is called by a name Jiva, pure consciousness, limited by individual ignorance. Because of his involvement with the Pancha Mahabhutas, Jiva experiences birth and death, joy and grief, sin and merit. Thereby, he falls into mental distress and delusion. Detaching and becoming free from the Pancha Mahabhutas is what is called Kaivalya Moksha or Mukti. Though the names are different, all three indicate the same consummation or liberation. Since he is embroiled in the complex of the Pancha Bhutas or the five elements, man gets jeopardized by other similarly composed jivas and by objects like forms of wealth, goods, and vehicles. Often he is infatuated by these and struggles frantically to acquire them. At other times, he develops great distaste for them and remains quite unruffled by craving. The jivi or the individual has the element Bhumi or earth as its essential base. Bhumi has the element Jala or water as its base. Jal is born out of Agni or fire, and Agni in its turn is based on Vayu or air. Vayu has Akasha or ether as its base. Akasha is born out of Mula Prakriti or fundamental material cause with threefold power, namely Sattva, Rajo and Tamo gunas, and is capable of manifestation. And Mula Prakriti is but from Paramatma or Supreme Self, Godhead. Therefore, Paramatma is the basis of everything in the universe. To attain such primal Paramatma, the Jivi, who is entangled with the Panchabhutas or five elements, has to gradually throw off one by one the coils of the elements. This can be done by Nitya Vicharana or systematic inquiry into the nature of self by discriminating between the permanent and the impermanent, and by abhyasa or steady practice of recognizing and attaching to the self or reality and refraining from the error of delusion, and viragya, detachment towards impermanent things. Only the one who succeeds in this endeavor is called Jivan Mukta or liberated while living. The Upanishads are the Adhara Bhutas. The Upanishads are the Adhara Bhutas or the basic guides for the Nitya Anitya Vicharana and Nija Rupa Sandarshana or realization of innate reality. They are the collective source of Vedanta. They solely teach Jnana Kanda, that portion of the Vedas which refers to true spiritual knowledge. It is only through Jnana or spiritual wisdom that Kaivalya or liberation is attained. In fact, the Upanishads themselves declare Jnana Devatu Kaivalyam. Kaivalya can only be gained through Jnana. Kandatrayatmakam Vedam. Vedas can be classified into three aspects. It is said, like the Vedas, Upanishads too have three aspects. Jnana, self-knowledge based, Upasana, and karma or action based, more or less corresponding to the Advaita or non duality, Dvaita, duality, and Visistha Dev, the Advaita, qualified non duality philosophies which are harmonized in them. Through Upanishad, one should learn Sthiti Rupa Nishtha, steadily and firmly established in the vision of the truth or reality. Through Brahma Vidya or self knowledge, learn Nidhi Dhyasana or the desire to contemplate and meditate on the well established knowledge or assimilation of the knowledge gained through Shravanam. Through Yoga Shastram, science of yoga, learn Manana, constant reflection. What is it that is achieved by all this? What is it that is known by all these? One's Nija Sthiti or true reality. So, by following what this ultimate goal of realizing one's Nija Sthiti can be gained and how the goal can be attained. These are explained fully and clearly, and hence these texts are named Upanishads. The meaning of the term Upanishads itself contains the entire essence. Upa means in proximity, very near. Ni means with nishtha, or if one systematically listens with attention by firmly establishing oneself in the vision of the self or reality. Sat means that which helps to experience the Paramatma, Supreme Self. The name Upanishad emerged for these reasons. The Upanishads not only instruct Vidya, knowledge of the self, they also elaborate on the means and methods of putting those instructions into effect in practice. They teach not only the manner of doing karmas or actions righteously, but they also proceed to tell which karmas are worth practicing and which are not. Take the Gita. It is the complete essence of the Upanishads, is it not? Arjuna earned by listening to the Gita the fruit of listening to the Upanishads. When Lord Krishna declared Pandavanam Dhanajaya among the Pandavas, I am the Dhanajaya, which means Tattvamasi, you are that. That refers to Supreme Self, that is Krishna Himself. That Jiva and Ishvara are identical. Thus, the Gita and the Upanishads emphasize the nectarous value of the Advaita point of view alone, not the Dvaita or Visishta Devata. Scientists use devices like the microscope and the telescope to examine and study minute organisms and stellar nebulae respectively, for the human eyes do not have such capabilities. So too, great noble men are able to experience Parameshwara, the Supreme Godhead, through the new eye, Jnana Netra, the eye of spiritual wisdom gained through the Chitta Shuddhi or the clean and pure mind by the practice of Naitika or moral and Adhyatmika or spiritual dharmas or disciplines. Such an exalted instrument, Jnana Netra is essential for experiencing the all-pervading Supreme Lord, just as a superior instrument of vision is needed to know the too small and the too vast. The Jnana Netra is not easily acquired. A skill of extraordinary ekagrata or one-pointed attention is essential for this, and to develop such ekagrata or chitta shuddhi, naitika viveka or moral discrimination, and adhyatmika viveka or spiritual discrimination are very important. Well, this is a task beyond the common run of men, but God has bestowed upon man, as differentiated from other animals, a pure knowledge, Vijnana. Men must recognize this gift thankfully, foster it and strengthen it so that it is utilized to realize the universal, immanent, supreme self Parameshwara. Instead, some get lost in arguments like, where does God reside? If He's real, why He's not seen? It is tragic to see such men exhibiting their ignorance on their own in such ways. They are like the ignorants who want to pass the MA and the BA examinations without putting in the efforts of learning even the ABCD alphabets. They want to see God but are not prepared to take even the first steps of sadhana or spiritual discipline towards the goal. They clamor for the vision of God without even putting in efforts to elevate Naitika Dharma or moral character or behavior. What is to be said of this colossal ignorance? Spiritual sadhana is based on the holy Shastras or scriptures. It cannot be mastered in a trice, nor can it be earned by mere talk. The essential principles and the essence of all Shastras is contained in the Upanishads. Hence, for everything, the authority of the Upanishads is supreme. They are not composed by human hands or intelligence. They are but parts of the Vedas, and so as timeless as Vedas, so Vedas are the basis and proof for Upanishads. The Vedas are countless, but those that have survived and available now are 4: Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Sama Veda, and Atharva Veda. Each Veda is classified into several Upanishads. In this way, altogether 1,180 Upanishads have come from those 4 Vedas. This number gradually declined, and now we have only 108. Of these, only 10 are studied and put into practice. The rest are mere names, unfortunately. It was sage Vyasa who classified each Veda into several Upanishads. There were 21 Sakhas, a school or a traditional recension of the Vedas, or the Rig Veda, and each Sakha had one Upanishad allotted. The Yajur Veda had 109 Sakhas, and each Sakhya had an Upanishad. The Atharvana Veda had 50 shakhas, and so it had got 50 Upanishads. The Sama Veda had 1,000 Upanishads, and for each of its shakhas. In this way, each shakha of each of the 4 Vedas had the same number of Upanishads. Thus, altogether, making up a total of 1,180 Upanishads. This number has gradually declined and most of them have been lost. Only 10 are studied now and put into practice because of the works of Sri Adi Shankaracharya. In short, that these 10 contain the essence of all the Upanishads. It is on these Dasa Upanishads or 10 Upanishads that the welfare of the world is based. The Astikas or the God-fearing and the good people. The Vedic scholars are afraid that even these 10 Upanishads might go down before the forces of ignorance. But the Lord will not allow that calamity to happen. That is the reason why avatars or the divine incarnations or manifestations of God come among men to uphold Vedas and Dharmas. So, the Astikas need not have such fears. The Vedas can never suffer harm. The Astikas and the scholars can now resolve to take up the task of spreading the teachings of the 10 Upanishads. That is, Isha, Kina, Katha, Prasanna, Mundaka, Mandukya, Taittiriya, Aitarya, Chandogya, and Brihadaranyana. The other 98 Upanishads are as follows: Brahma, Kevalya, Sweta, Swatra, Jabali, Hamsa, Garbha, Aruni, Paramhamsa, Amrit Ananda, Narayani, Amrita Bindu, Atharvavasikaha, Adharvavasiraha, Kasitara, Maithrayani, Nrishiha Tapini, Brihajabala, Sarvahara, Vajra Shuchika, Subharashya, Tejobindu, Nadabindu, Dhyana Bindu, Brahma Vidya, Atma Bodhaka, Yoga Tattva, Narada Parivrajaka, Brahmana, Sita, Yoga Chudamani, Nirvana, Mandala, Dakshinamurti, Skanda, Sarabha, Advaitaraka, Mahanarayana, Saubhagya Lakshmi, Saraswati, Rahasya, Muktika, Bhavricha, Ramatapana, Rama, Rama Rahasya, Mudgali, Vasudeva, Pingala, Sandilya, Maha, Bhikshuka, Yoga Shikha, Sannyasa, Turyatita, Paramahansa, Parivrajyaka, Avyakyata, Nirsimha, Aksha Malika, Annapurana, Ekakshara, Ekshika, Adhyatma, Surya, Kundikyakhya, Atma, Savitri, Parabrahma, Pashupata, Tirupura Tapana, Avyadhuta, Tripura, Devi, Bhavana, Katha, Yoga Kundali, Rudra, Hridaya, Rudraksha, Bhasma, Darshana, Ganapati, Tahasara, Mahavakya, Pancha Brahma, Gopala Tapini, Prana Agnihotra, Garuda, Krishna, Dattatreya, Varahaka, Yajna Valkya, Satyayinina, Satyayina, Hayagrina, and Kali Santarana. There are many more, but as the saying goes, loss of dishes served on the plates for an unattended feast. These Upanishads have gone out of use, and so it is of no use to know them. Even attempting to describe them is a waste of time. The study of all the 108 Upanishads is not necessary for those who seek liberation. One is enough to practice and experience. For those people who do not have the habit of putting anything into practice, all Upanishads are one and the same, because they neither grab the essence and experience it nor try to lessen the burden. In fact, all the sciences such as geography, astronomy, economics, etc., as well as the 18 Puranas such as Skanda, Shiva, Garuda, etc., and the yogas of Tantrika, Mantrika, Bhakti, Jnana, and Karma are derived from Upanishads and gifted to the world by the great sages. Vedas and the Upanishads together form Sanatana Matamu, timeless or eternal religion. Here is something remarkable to note. Like other religions, there is no identifiable religious founder in the country of Bharat, India. That undefinable, that unidentifiable master or founder or source of jnana is Ishvara or Supreme Being, Godhead. He is the seer. Great sages who succeeded in earning His grace and attained His divine aspects are pravaktas or prophets or diviners. Also, whenever there is a decline in morality and decline in the practice of dharma, the Lord Himself incarnates in the country of Bharat as a diviner and guides mankind on the right path. Man can discover this true jnana only through Upanishads. Jai Sai Ram.
साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ